everyone. Welcome, welcome. All right, let me get my co-host up here, Sam. Come on stage, Sam. Hi, guys. Nice to see you. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. Welcome. You know what would be fun for me before we start is I'd love to know, and I got the idea because someone shared where they're from. I'd love to know where you are right now. Where are you participating from? I saw someone say hello from Madagascar. Hello, Madagascar. Welcome. Someone's in Chicago right now. Very cool. Adrar, Egypt, Constantine, Wahran. Very cool. Some people are saying, I'm at home. Okay, but tell me, where's home? I don't know where your home is. Anaba, Vajaya. Let's see. Oh my gosh, I love it. We have a very chatty group. This is going to be fun. Kansas City. Hi, Bilal in Kansas City. That's so cool. Medea, Montreal. Awesome. Ooh, Portugal. Hello, Tarek in Portugal. Wargla, Turkey. Turkey, that's cool too. Gardaya. Farouk is in Paris and currently eating. Well, Basahtek, Farouk, I hope you like the class. Tiaret. You guys, you're writing too fast. I can't read all of them. Oh my goodness. Well, I'm so happy to have you in class. I'm going to go ahead and start the presentation where I'll introduce myself and I'll introduce the topic for tonight. All right, let me share my screen. Here comes the technical challenge of the evening where I have one task to do. Can I do it? Okay. Yes, I can, but I keep sharing the slideshow the wrong way. Okay, here it is. Let me share it with you guys. Share screen. Amazing. Hello, everybody. Okay, so welcome to English for Specific Purposes. This is the 10th week of our program. It's crazy to think that we've been doing this together for almost 3 months, but we spent the whole summer together. My name is Ariella Knight. I am the founder and CEO of the American Institute. This is an English language school and a cultural center based in Algiers, but we have an online program as well. So we're happy to have students from everywhere, just like we have you guys participating tonight from everywhere. I am American, so I'm born and raised in Boston, Massachusetts, and I moved to Algeria in 2018, where I came as an English teacher and then eventually started the school. My professional background is primarily in program management, business consulting, and English teacher. So tonight's class, which is a business English class, combines perfectly many of my interests. So I'm very excited to get to know you guys and to share some of my knowledge with you, and I hope it will be helpful. So I'm imagining we have some new faces with us tonight. So for those who have been here before, just be patient. You know the drill. This will take about 5 minutes. For those who are new, let me introduce you to the series. This is an English for Specific Purposes class. That is ESP. In an ESP class, we're focusing on one specific topic in English. So tonight's class is Business English for Negotiations, but we've also had English for food or for cooking. We've had English for fashion and beauty. We did medical English, tourism English. We've been all over. The classes take place every Tuesday evening, except for tonight. We moved to Wednesday. Thank you to everyone for your flexibility. But next week and the week following, we'll be back to Tuesdays. It is between 6:30 to 8 p.m. I'll say Algiers time. Now that I know we have a very international group with us, always, every time we put a time, we are talking Algiers time zone. And these classes are 100% free. This is our program. So you can see that we have done 9 weeks of ESP, tourism, medicine, media, social media, humor, which was very fun, cooking, beauty and fashion, and finally, business English for negotiations. So typically a business English class would be in our business English series, which we did prior to this, but I opened up one class for you guys to vote on and tell me what did you want to learn about. And to no one's surprise, business English is always so popular, and you requested a business English class. So tonight, I hesitate to say this is strictly an ESP class. It's a little bit more of a business English class, but you wanted it. We put it in the series. I think it's going to be fun. Weeks 11 and 12, the last 2 weeks, will be academic English. So I added, well, with the request of the US Embassy, who's loving the series, we added 2 more classes, and those will all be about academic writing. So do not miss those if you are looking at your agenda for the next year and you see that you'll be writing a thesis or you want to study abroad and you need to write those essays in English. Okay, as a reminder, this class is advanced intermediate level. That's also known as B2. So I'm going to be speaking at the speed and at the difficulty of B2. If you do not have that level, the class may be challenging for you, but you are more than welcome to join. What I recommend is you watch the recording afterwards to find anything you didn't remember. We get tons of questions. Where can I find the recording? Well, in your acknowledgement email tomorrow, you will get a link to the YouTube channel, but I'll also ask Sam to share it in the chat right now. For those who want to see the classes that already happened, you'll find them all on our YouTube channel. So Sam will go ahead and share that. I'm also going to introduce Sam. So you see I have a black square up here with me. We call him Sam at the Institute, although this is Karim, Sammy. He is our class assistant. So he stays silent and he stays a black box, but he helps me moderate and share the link and answer any technical questions or technical difficulties. So welcome, Sam. Okay, so the class will take place in the following manner. Every week, it's a new topic. When we are discussing ESP, we are almost always talking about specialized vocabulary. Most areas of English are, when we're talking about really mastering that area, we're talking about the specific vocabulary for that area. In some sessions, we have guest interviews, but there's no interview tonight. And sometimes we do skill development. Well, tonight is one of the nights we will be doing skill development. Get ready to participate because we will have you guys doing negotiations with me by the end of the class. How to use the chat. So you're already in the chat. Hello, chat. I see you guys kind of chatting in there. I don't always have time to read it while I'm presenting, but at certain points, I will ask you questions and I will look to the chat for your answers. So be ready to send and type in your answers. Please feel free to ask questions. So if you have questions related to the topic, put them in the chat and your fellow students might help you find the answer by responding. Also, please use the chat to encourage each other, especially after someone comes and speaks on microphone. They might feel nervous or they might have, stumbled over a word. And I love to see in the chat when you guys write encouraging notes to each other. You'll also notice we have a Q&A. For me, it's at the top of my screen. I do not really look in the Q&A. I prefer chat. I will try to look in the Q&A. Tonight we have a big group, so if it's in the chat, I might not see it. But typically, there's a lot going on my screen. I don't have time to look in the Q&A. I do actually see, though, now that I opened the Q&A, that someone asked, how can we talk? So there are specific moments in the class when you can raise your hand and speak to answer a question or participate in an exercise. We keep everyone's cameras off. So really, it's me, my face, and you guys chatting in the discussion. Some answers that we get this question every class, so we decided to just put this up here. There's no certificate for the class. And yes, the class is recorded and you can view it on YouTube, okay? Last thing, class rules before we get started. So we request respect and civility. Be nice to each other, be kind to each other. No profanity, no discussing irrelevant topics. Sam is here as my enforcer. So if we have anyone who's discussing something totally random, you might get asked to leave the class. If you are sending links, if you are spamming the chat, you may be asked to leave the class. I'm saying asked, but in reality, Sam would remove you from the class. Of course, any profanity, anything inappropriate like that, come on, guys. We're here together for 1.5 hours. Let's focus on business English for negotiations. And then, of course, just help create a fun and positive environment. Everything good? Let me check the chat. Oh, thank you for saying thanks, everyone. You're all being very sweet. Yes, yes, yes. I see someone asking, can we share the meetings in Google Drive? We cannot, but they're all on YouTube. They're fully free, fully accessible. Do what you want with them. All is good. All is good, man. Nice. All right, amazing. So today's agenda, we did the welcome to the class. We did the introduction. We reviewed the rules. Let's get into business English for negotiations. So the first thing we're going to do is define business English. There are some things we need to review before we even get in. Then we're going to define business negotiations. What are these and when do we do them? Next, we have negotiation vocabulary, negotiation phrases, and expressions and idioms. And somewhere in that mix are going to be opportunities for you guys to join in as well. All right, now on to business English for negotiations. If you're new here, you might be confused about the dogs. If you're old here, you know what's happening. We have dog pictures every week, and this one I love. Look at this cute beagle. All right, discussion time. What is business English and what makes it different than regular English? We will actually take a few people who want to chat on microphone. If you want to come on the microphone, come prepared, keep it short so that other people have a turn, and make sure you have a good connection. If you don't have a great connection, I'm so sorry, but it doesn't work and the class can't hear you. So let me go and look and see who wants to participate. I see some hands are up. Okay, let's call to the stage Hassan. Hassan, are you there? You should have now the option.
Yes, I am.
Hello, how are you today?
I'm fine. How are you?
Doing well, thank you.
Do you guys see me?
No, we don't do video. We can only hear you.
All right. Okay. Okay. So I was surprised that I am the first one to be asked to talk. So you are asking for the difference between business English and regular English. Yes. Well, I think that the business English is the English that we use for negotiation, for work, in our job, in our like for trading, for business, for in the management, in the companies, to talk to. It could be written or verbal English. So it could be the official writing that we write to a partner. It could be a company, another company that we work with, who we work, or it could be also one of our colleagues. And so that's what I call English, business English, instead of in opposite of regular English. That's normal chatting. It's normal. That it's more simple and no any formal way to say any words. So we don't like we use words more simple and more simple conversation. We could use also simple like words that are not that used only in the street. I would say. So that's the big difference for me.
Thank you very much, Hassan. Thank you for going first.
Thank you.
All right. Very cool. So first of all, a quick pause to say that Hassan demonstrated how the participation works. He raised his hand. He didn't know he was getting picked. Thank you, Hassan. And then he came and shared, and then he's moved back into the audience. That's a little note on how this works. Back to what Hassan said, absolutely. What I really enjoyed that he brought up was that there's a lot of context in which we use business English. We don't use it randomly. We use it when we are at work, when we're in a meeting, when we're dealing with a very formal person, okay? I also see that other people are writing in the chat, you know, business meetings, sales presentations, negotiations, very good. So we have a context-specific type of English. Then Hassan pointed out also the language changes. We have much simpler English that we're using on our day-to-day, more basic, perhaps more casual. Okay, there's going to be chances for everyone to participate later. So I don't want you to get sad. I'm only taking a few, but for the sake of time, I'm just going to take one more. And choosing randomly, I will choose Shahnaz. Shahnaz, are you there? You'll have to unmute yourself to come on.
Okay, hello.
Hello, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for accepting. Okay, so shortly I'm gonna start speaking, okay?
Go ahead.
All right, so I think business English, it's what we use in the professional field, you know, like when we are at university, when in like somewhere where we do business, okay? A company, a factory or something like that. And as Hassan said, it could be written and it could be verbal. So like written like emails. This is one type of business English, I think. And verbal, okay, verbal, it's the language we use when we talk. What makes it different from regular English, I think because it's more formal. It's formal. We can't use professional like business English in everyday conversation because the majority, like most people won't understand it. It would be difficult for them to understand. And that's it.
Amazing. Thank you, Shahnaz.
Welcome, Ariella.
All right. So yes, I like that Shahnaz sort of supported what Hassan was saying and that you emphasize that there's written business English and spoken business English. That's definitely true. I also had someone in the chat mentioning or asking the question, is business English always more complicated? Sometimes isn't it more simple? We're going to get into that as compared to regular English. Okay, thank you to our two early participants, our brave souls. This is how we have defined business English. So business English is a formal type of English that is used in a professional setting. So that's exactly what you guys said. You mentioned the type that it is and the context or the setting that we use it in. The goal of business English is to communicate clearly and efficiently. I want to pause on this because I think there is a cultural component here. In some workplaces, the goal of the business language in that workplace is not necessarily efficiency. I think this is very English, it's very Anglophone. We value efficient communication. I want to use the most direct way to communicate something with you, and I want it to be very clear. Okay, I think in other workplaces, there is less of a need for efficiency, and sometimes there's more poetry. The language should sound beautiful, it should sound wonderful, but in English, we want efficiency. You will find out later on that that is not always true, or it is always true that we want efficiency, but sometimes even in business English, our sentences get longer or get more complex in order to stay polite. But the goal of the business English usage is always efficiency. Okay, then let's talk about comparing business English to regular English. So business English is different from regular English because these three reasons. Number one, it follows a more disciplined approach in order to deliver a professional way of speaking and conversation, which is absolutely true. Sometimes we use the word formalized, but I like the sentence disciplined approach because sometimes I describe it as codes. It's some memorized codes that we use that we recognize in the community, and it communicates very quickly. Okay, some of you might know the phrase, I hope you're doing well, which is at the beginning of almost every business email. This is what I call a code. We know that it does not mean anything. It simply indicates that this is a polite email. So it's a disciplined approach to the language. Number two, business English can be much more indirect. This is the part that I was talking about with my efficiency, but sometimes it's not as direct. Okay, in formal English, the more formal the scenario, the less direct. Instead of explicitly saying to someone, I don't like that. In business English, we would make it less direct. I'm not sure if that's my favorite. What do you think? Right? We don't come out very directly, we are indirect. And yes, being indirect is considered more polite. It shows more politeness. I call two things, being indirect and introducing doubt. Instead of saying no, we say, I'm not sure. We mean no, but we say, I'm not sure. That's considered more polite. Okay. Number three, you use specialized vocabulary to demonstrate fluency in that topic. So now we're talking about, for example, an accountant would use specialized accounting vocabulary in order to demonstrate that they are fluent in accountant speak. Okay, and that's true for every single industry, if you're a consultant or if you're an engineer. All right, now we're going to quickly talk about something that is called the I was going to say it's called register, which Sam will laugh at. That's the formal word for this, where we're comparing phrases between regular English, how we would say something in regular English, and how we would say that same thing in business English or formal English. Now, this is not an exact science, but we wanted to put together a sentence of regular English with a sentence of business English and see if you guys can see how they are related. So in regular English, we simply say, I need this. Hi, I need this document. Hi, I need this report. What do you guys think we could say in business English? Something more formal than just I need. Does anyone have any ideas? I would like to have, can you please? I would like to, I would like, very good. Could you provide? Good. I see you guys, you already know that moving it into a question makes it more polite. Very good. And that's what we put. We put I would like, but I also accept and I also like the questions. Could you, may I, might I? Very good. Next, how about, this is someone suggesting something, making a suggestion. How about, okay, do you mind? What if? Okay, more what if. If I may suggest, I suggest, do you mind? Please, could you provide? Okay, so I see you suggesting kind of politeness phrases. All right, I'm going to show you guys. We put, I wonder if we could. Okay, so using these modal verbs, could. And I realize there's a whole other lesson that goes into these phrases, but today is about negotiations. So I'm just trying to get us in the world of business English a little bit before we move into negotiations. What about this? Where is or where are? So this is me requesting information. Where is this? Have you seen? What about? Did you see? Please, did you see? Where could I? I'm wondering about. Do you know? Okay. We gave a very long example. Do you have any details on? Okay, this is more formal. It's less direct. It doesn't even really say you're looking for something. It's a very polite way to say, if I'm looking for a report and I think that this person has the report, I go up to them, I say, do you have any details on that report? And they know, oh, she can't find it or she hasn't received it. Yeah. All right, next, do you know? Do you know? Do you have any idea about? Is there any information about? Do you have an idea? Please tell me. Are you aware of? Okay. Any idea? Any idea? Please let me know. This one, I think perhaps the context doesn't quite match, but maybe if we imagine the supervisor asking an employee, do you know when you'll finish your work? And it can feel very direct. A way of getting around it is saying, please let me know when you'll finish your work. I see someone saying, I see business sentences are longer. Absolutely, they are longer. What about this one? I don't like this. What do we do with I don't like this? I can't stand this. I'm afraid, I'd rather, not my cup of tea. I don't know if I agree with you. It's not suitable. All right. What is or what are the alternatives? So what is the alternative is singular. What are the alternatives is the plural. It's a very polite way to say you don't like something. In fact, you never even say, I don't like it. You simply look at it and you say, and what are the alternatives? And that is, as I said, a code. It's a coded language that says, I don't like this, but I'm going to say it very politely and very formally. Okay, next. Can you help me? This is a request, someone making a request for help. Can you help me? Could you give me a hand? Would you give me a hand? Do you have any idea? Are you able to? I need some help, please. Could you, may you, would you? Good. Okay, I see the modal verbs. Very good. Do you have some free time? Very good. I just wrote, can I ask you a favor? Okay, it's slightly more polite. Some of these you'll see they go from impolite or rather informal to very formal. This is an example of one that just goes from informal to a little bit more formal. Okay, can I ask you a favor? Is more polite and more formal than can you help me? This is our last one. I don't like this. Who did it? This is someone who says, I want to know who's responsible for this mistake or for this product that I don't like. How would you say this? This is a hard one. I don't like this. Who did it? Okay, someone says, please let me know who did this. Someone said we should improve. I like that. Just completely like, we're not even going to blame this person. We're just saying we should improve. Someone wrote, to whom should I give credit for this? Well, that would be, you know, credit is positive. If we then meet them and we tell them we didn't like it, it would be a little bit funny. Let's fix this. We should retrain. How can we improve it? Some people just stating, I disagree with this. Okay. We wrote, who is responsible for or who is in charge of? Okay. Instead of expressing our opinion right away, we simply ask, to whom can I speak about this? Perhaps then the following conversation is behind closed doors. All right, very good. So this is just a little bit about business English to get us into the right mindset to go into negotiations. So I'm going to change the slide now. Thank you in the chat, you guys. Thank you for participating. We're moving to negotiations, and here is another chance to join us on the microphone for those who are interested in speaking. In your opinion, what is a negotiation? Specifically, what is a business negotiation? All right, so if you had your hand up before and you don't want to speak, put it down. And if you want to speak, go ahead and put it up. It'll look like the little yellow hand. Let's go with Abdali Hakim. Abdali Hakim, are you there?
Yeah, I am. Hello. You hear
Hi,
me?
welcome. Yes, we can hear you.
I'm glad that you gave me the opportunity to say what I want to say.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
I think, Abdali, I think you don't have a great connection. We can't hear you anymore. Oh, hello. All right, if you get a better connection, Abdali, you come back on. Raise your hand, I'll bring you back up, but I'm going to bring someone else up. We can't hear you. All right, let's go with Manel. Manel, you are on stage.
Hello,
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine, and you?
Doing good, thank you.
Thanks.
So tell us, Manal, what do you think a business negotiation is?
I think that in my point of view, business negotiation is something that could help us in our everyday life. And business negotiation is where we could go to a supermarket and be the seller and discuss with the person who is like, who wants to buy something from us, and like we can negotiate in the price to improve our ourselves.
Okay. Okay, very good. Thank you, Manel.
Thanks.
Okay, so Manel brought up the most common thing we think about when we think of negotiation, which is selling, prices, negotiating for the lowest price or the biggest bargain. I think that's absolutely one of the biggest areas that we negotiate in, and it's something that people really train on to be a good negotiator and always get the lowest deal. Okay, thank you very much, Manal. And I like that you said you think it's a skill that can help you in everyday life. Tonight, we're talking about negotiating in a business context, but negotiation skills, like you mentioned, go far beyond business. You can use them in the supermarket. I don't know about you guys, but I don't negotiate very much in Algeria. Do you think I should be negotiating more? Do you think people are selling me? We call this to be ripped off. People selling me things at high prices because I'm a foreigner. I don't know, but I do not negotiate. I'm going to send this to be ripped off. That's a really good phrasal verb. Okay, let's have another person. What about Warda? Warda, are you there?
Hello. Yes, I'm
Hi.
here. Hi.
Amazing. How are you doing tonight?
I'm great, thank you. How about you?
I'm doing good, thank you. Tell us, Warda, what is a business negotiation in your opinion?
I think business negotiation is it's discussions between sometimes two companies or two corporations for them to reach a middle ground, something in the middle. They want to reach agreements that would be beneficial for both companies. So I think this is a negotiation, and the good negotiation to have win-win. I mean, the two parts, they to find themselves in win-win situation.
All right, amazing. Thank you, Warda.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay. So Warda said one of the big words that we're going to talk about later, which is win-win. Okay, this is working between two different partners. Sometimes we call them parties. It can be people, it can mean companies, it can mean families, but the two parties are the two sides of a negotiation, and negotiating to find something that works for both sides, that works for both parties, and hopefully achieves that win-win. Okay, amazing. Let's do one more. I see here. Actually, I see Hakeem has his hand up again. Do you have service, Hakeem? Abdelli Hakeem, I don't know if Hakeem is the first one or the second one. Hakeem, write me something in the chat. If you have good service, I'll bring you up. But for now, I'm going to bring up Farid. Hi, Farid. You can unmute yourself.
How do you hear me?
Hi, yes, we hear you very well.
Great. So for me, I think that business negotiation is a mean or a vehicle that lets both of the partners of a business to get the best of a deal. So to find to take to arrive to a middle ground. Benefit the most from the deal using this polite way of speaking.
Amazing. Amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you, Farid. Okay, so Farid mentioned some other amazing vocabulary words such as middle ground. Again, we have one party who wants this over here and one who wants this over here. They have to reach a conclusion in the middle. We call this the middle ground. That's absolutely correct. All right, you guys, I see also some people saying things in the chat that were super useful. It's a chat between two people, anything about business. It's an exchange between businesses. It's solving problems. It's compromising. It's what you need to do before you conclude a deal. And it's a good skill you need to have in business. That's absolutely true. Okay, thank you to everyone who participated. For those who raised your hand but didn't get called, there will be more opportunities. Stay tuned. Okay, so this is the definition that we have for you today. A business negotiation is a strategic discussion between two or more parties. As I mentioned, in this context, a party is a person, a business, or even just two people or a family. It means the group of people on one side of the discussion. So when you have two parties, you have two sides of the discussion, with the aim of reaching a mutually accepted solution. Business negotiations can concern a raise. They can concern working arrangements, things like changing hours or remote work, anything that you want that's usually in an employee contract. And then a contract or a deal. Those are things between companies, okay? This one, I think I'm going to skip the sharing because I just want to get into the good stuff, but we are going to talk about the important steps in a negotiation process. Before I go into it, why don't we answer in the chat? What are the elements in a negotiation? What do you do in the beginning? What do you do in the middle? What do you do at the end? Send it to me written in the chat. I'm changing the plan because I want us to get through to the exercise at the end. Okay. People are saying that you need to listen before you speak, okay? You need to have a presentation. You need to fix your objective, okay? Someone is saying you need to show respect. I think that's very important. You need to give arguments, okay? Listen, then give your opinion. Muad shared a phrase, you ask for wheat to get barley. I've never heard that before. That's really interesting. Basically saying you ask for something really big in the hopes that by the end you get something small, but what you wanted was the small thing. Respect, being polite and formal, knowing your arguments or knowing the products. I think that's very true. Planning is important. Using the right words, the right phrases. Very good. Having a strategy, not discussing too many things. Interesting. Miriam is mentioning you need to speak about the conditions. Good. Asma is saying you need to be very well informed of your own idea or perhaps of your own argument so you can defend it well. Very good. Oh my gosh, you guys are writing so many things. I see Zineb has said for us, you offer, then you study and discuss the offer, then you decide. Okay, very good. The steps. Oh my gosh, amazing. Someone is mentioning, make sure you're wearing very nice clothes. Okay, we're getting into the psychology of a negotiation. How do you get taken more seriously? How do you make it more likely that the other side will give you more of what you want? Okay, thank you so much, everyone. You wrote so much, I can hardly read it all. Here is what we are going to talk about, the order of the negotiation. Number one, have a clear objective. Remember, I'm speaking to you as if you are the person starting the negotiation. So we'll imagine that you are working in a company and you want to change your working days, okay? That's your objective. Maybe you work the weekend and you're saying, I want my weekend back for free time. I want to work during the week. That is my objective. Then you need to understand your leverage. And what I mean by leverage, we'll get into the definitions of each one, but what I mean by leverage is the advantages inherent in you. Why do they need you? Why do they have a reason to give you what you want? Be prepared and do your research, which you guys mentioned a lot in the chat. Make sure you know what you're presenting. Identify areas for compromise. Consider the other party's benefit. We're getting close to the win-win. Consider ways that it would also work for them. And then make a strategy. Consider how you're going to start the discussion, what you'll bring up first. All right, some details on each of these steps, okay? So have a clear objective. What we mean by this is you must know exactly what you want to get out of the conversation. So this is, for example, if you're negotiating a price, what is the lowest price that you would be happy with? This is a little bit like our friend who said, if you want barley, ask for wheat. Saying know exactly what your objective is. The objective is the barley. The objective is that minimum price, and know that going into your negotiation. In our example, the objective is to not work during the weekend. Maybe the minimum is just not working Friday. So you know, I want to work not Friday, not Saturday, but at a minimum, I don't want Friday. Understand your leverage. And I see some of you guys asking about leverage. I hope this clears it up. So understand the influence or value of you, of what you bring to the table, okay? Show that what you're offering can't be found somewhere else. So if I'm the employee, I don't want to work the weekend, I need to explain to the company why they should keep working with me instead of hiring a new employee who will work the weekend. I have to say, I bring experience to the role. I have what we call institutional knowledge, meaning I know about the company. You don't have to train me. I'm a really good salesperson. Whenever I work, I sell a lot. This is your leverage, and you must bring this up in a negotiation so that the other side understands why they need to negotiate. If you have no leverage, if they don't need you or they don't want you, there's no negotiation that you'll come out on top. They have to be getting an advantage from you being there, and you use that to negotiate better working conditions. So next, step 3, we have be prepared, do your research. So know as much as possible about the person or the company you're dealing with. Also know about the industry. So this may be for the weekend work. You can say to your company, listen, I think I would also be more valuable during the weekdays because we see more corporate clients during the week. And I am really good at selling to corporate clients, right? So you're suggesting I've researched the company, or I've noticed this at the company, and these are the ways in which my change is beneficial for the company. In a different example, when you're asking for a raise, when you're asking for more pay, it's important to know the average. To say, on average, someone in this position makes more money than I'm making. So I'm asking to meet the average. Or you can say someone with my skills or with my training typically makes X amount of money, okay? Come to these discussions with research and not just emotions. I feel like I want more money, or it seems unfair I work the weekend. Avoid the emotional language and come in with the research language. It will make your position so much stronger. Now we have step 4, and this is all happening before you have started talking. Just to clarify, you have not even entered the negotiation room. You are at home and you are preparing. So now that you have determined your objective, understood your leverage, prepared your research, next you need to look for areas to compromise. So this means, with your objective in mind, identify what you would give up during the negotiation process if needed. Okay, so the example I gave already about the weekend worker is saying, if needed, he would accept to continue working Saturday as long as he had Friday off. Okay, that's a compromise area. But don't miss the opportunity to be creative. If you come to the negotiation with 3 different alternatives, you're giving them a lot, you're giving the other party, they'd have to give examples, or they'd have to defend against all the alternatives. It makes your position stronger. If you say, okay, I could keep working Saturday, but I don't want to work Friday. Or you can say, listen, I would be willing to work extra hours during the week to train someone to work the weekend. You know, maybe you're thinking they probably don't want to train someone, so I'll offer to train someone. You're looking for ways in which you can compromise in order to have them accept your ultimate goal. Number 5, consider the other party's benefit. This is hand in hand with compromise. Okay, make sure that what you're asking for will not hurt your counterpart, meaning try to negotiate a win-win. Let's be realistic. Sometimes a negotiation, one person wins more. So if the company I'm working for really needs someone on the weekend and they value my time on the weekend, me asking to leave will benefit me more than them. They really want me on the weekend and I do so many sales on Fridays. Okay, so it might not be a perfect win-win when I leave, but what I can do is identify other areas that it will benefit them. So we've already talked about this. I can mention how I'll do more sales on the weekday. I can mention how I'll get involved with training. I can mention that I'll do marketing to let people know my new days to try to make it easier for the transition, okay? So always try to find positives in what you're proposing for both sides. Then make a strategy. This is the very last step. Make a strategy means prepare yourself thoroughly for the negotiation. With that, by prepare yourself, I mean literally, what will you say first? What will you say second? What will be your main focus? What is your bottom line, meaning the minimum? For this person, is the bottom line, I have to stop working Friday or I quit? Or is the bottom line, nothing? If they don't let me change my hours, I will keep working Friday and Saturday. It's important to know. And then how you're going to close the deal, meaning what's the final thing you say that you hope will really, really persuade them. All right, those are our 6 points. Now we're going to go into some negotiation phrases. You guys, this is the last thing we're doing before you actually start negotiating with me. So start thinking about all these other, I'm letting this, we say marinate, meaning I'm letting you process and think about this, because in about 10 to 15 minutes, you will be negotiating with me. And I want to see you doing I want to see you having that very clear objective. I want to see that you understand your leverage. I want to see that you're prepared, you've done research as much as you can for an exercise, that you've identified areas for compromise, that you understand the other party's benefit, who is me, you'll be negotiating with me, and that you have a certain strategy in mind. I see that Yasmin is asking in the chat, should we let the other party speak first to be polite? That can definitely be something you do in make a strategy. All of the steps I've outlined are before you start. You should do all of this at home before you even begin. Negotiations are a research task. You need to arrive to the negotiation having done all of these steps. And then in your strategy, maybe you have said, I want the other side to begin. Okay, maybe you have not said that. It is specific to every negotiation. It's specific to you, to your personality, to the person you're negotiating with. That part all comes in under strategy. Okay. All right, now we're going to talk negotiation phrases. So these are business English phrases that we use in negotiations. This is a little game that we're going to play. I'm going to show you a phrase, actually 3, maybe 4 phrases. And I want you to answer the question, what do these phrases express? All right, it might be a little confusing, but just hang on for the first slide and I think you'll understand. And I'll be looking at the chat for answers. So the first phrase we have, is that the best you can do? The next is, can't you do any better than that? And the last is, the lowest or the highest I can go is, all right, and this is, what do you think these phrases express? Does anyone have any ideas? I know you might be saying, Ariella, I don't understand the game. It's okay, just wait, but does anyone have any guesses? I see price, challenging, bargaining, motivation, expectations. I see so many words, provocation, blame. Okay, let me show you what these phrases express. Asking for a better price. So all of these phrases are expressing this objective. These are different phrases that you can use to request a better price, a lower buying price or a higher selling price. So you can use this phrase if you're the person buying, if you're the buyer, and if you're the seller. Okay, someone offers you something really low for your amazing product. You say, is that the best you can do? All right, so a seller can also say that. Asya is asking, the second phrase does not sound like business English. Can't you do any better than that? Asya, you make a good point. Some of these phrases are a little more direct, and they imply that the conversation is really far. So you've already had the beginning of the conversation and you're into the point where you're almost like, let's get real. I'm just talking money now. So if we imagine someone who's buying art and they're speaking with an art dealer, maybe in the beginning of the conversation, they're very formal, they're very polite. They ask after, how's work, how's business, et cetera, and then they start discussing the art. After you've been very formal and the intentions are clear, then you might have permission to go into more direct language. But you are right to say that we would never start a negotiation, a business negotiation, with these types of phrases. The only place we start a negotiation with this is, I think, in the market, right? That's when we go straight in. Let's go. I want the tomato. Tell me your best price. All right, thank you, Asia. That's a very good point that you made. All right, let's try again. What do these phrases express? Number one, that's a fair suggestion. Number two, that sounds great to me or to us. I see some of you already answering, someone saying win-win, closing the deal, a deal, middle ground, agreement, okay. The third sentence is, I think that would be acceptable, and that sounds reasonable. Coming to agreement, I see satisfaction, reaching a deal, we made a deal, agree, good point, offer accepted. Okay, let's see. Expressing agreement, you guys got it completely. All of these are really good negotiation phrases that express agreement. Great, doing good. Next. I understand where you're coming from. However, let me show you one more. I'm afraid that doesn't work for me, or that doesn't work for us. I see not being sure. I see disagreement, dissatisfaction, denying, disagreement. Okay, and the last one. I'm afraid I had something different in mind. No deal. All right. And the answer is expressing disagreement. Very good. You guys got that one immediately. Awesome. Next, we have, what are your views on? How do you feel about? I see opinion, I see suggestion, exploring possibilities. I see suggestions, checking. Okay, a lot of this, opinion, suggestion, recommendation. Okay, here's another one. Here is what we can offer you. Does that change anything? Someone says bargaining, offer. All three of these are in the same bucket. It's the same expression, expectation or offer. All right, and there's one more. How does sound? Yes, that's changed it. Some people now saying proposing an offer. Yep, the offer they can give, proposal, opinion. Some people are saying they're still asking opinion. Some people are saying they're asking about an offer. Let's see. To make a proposal. Very good. You guys definitely got this. I think actually very early on with how do you feel about. So all of these are different negotiation phrases that you can use when you are making a proposal. Nice work. Next, we are ready to accept your offer. However, there would be one condition. Does anyone want to guess before they see even the second one? People are saying acceptance under condition, drawing limits, bargaining. Okay. Accepting a deal with conditions, conditional offer. Okay, let's do the second one, see if it changes your mind. In return for this, would you be willing to, this is slightly different. In return for this, would you be willing, I see accepting but with conditions. I see looking for compromise, good leveraging. People keep putting negotiation, okay, but all of these are in a negotiation. I want more specific. Okay, next we have, could you meet us halfway? Looking to sweeten the deal. I like that. Deal. A win-win, compromise for sure. Compromise. All right, and there's one more. Would you be willing to accept a compromise? Maybe that one gives it away at the end. So these express asking for a compromise. So we intentionally design these sort of the most vague into the most obvious to make the game fun, but also to show you that some of these phrases are a little vague. That the formal phrases tend to be not so direct. And if you see them in an isolated context, you don't exactly know what they're doing or what they're asking. But these are all phrases that you can use to ask for a compromise. Awesome, good job, you guys. Oh, okay. I think we're doing our negotiations exercise now. Hold on a second. I'm just going to stop sharing for 1 second because I don't want to ruin the exercise and I have to figure out where it is. Okay, we have one more. We're doing vocabulary and then we're negotiating. I'm just very excited to negotiate with you guys. All right, this is our last fun game. We're going to learn some vocabulary. So this is negotiation vocabulary. These are all words that you will see in a negotiation or when you're learning about negotiations. So we have 5 words: lowball, ultimatum, compromise, consensus, and leverage. A couple of these we've already talked about today, but some of them we have not. Bilal is telling me he took a screenshot of the answers. Well, then Bilal, be quiet and let the others play the game. We have one definition here: holding the advantage in a situation or the stronger position in a contest. Tell me, what is this the definition for? Holding the advantage in a situation or holding the stronger position in a contest. I see 5, leverage, lots of 5s. Did everyone take a screenshot or is it obvious? Okay. Number 5, it's leverage. Good job. Next. A final demand, which if rejected, could end a relationship or have serious consequences. What is that? I see 2 and 3. 2 and 3. Tell me which one it is. Number 2 is ultimatum. Number 3 is compromise. A final, I'm reading it again, a final demand, which if rejected, could end a relationship or have serious consequences. I even see a 4, which is consensus. All right, we're very evenly split. This is 2. This is ultimatum. So an ultimatum is truly the last, it's not a request, it is a demand. When you give someone an ultimatum in a negotiation, if we take my example, my weekend worker, an ultimatum is, this is my minimum. If you do not give me this minimum, I leave. So as my weekend worker, I say, if you don't let me change my days, if you make me work Friday, I'm quitting, and I'm quitting today. That's an ultimatum, okay? It can end that relationship and it can have serious consequences. This is why many people in a negotiation will say, I don't respond to ultimatums because they feel like it is too strict. There's no room for negotiation once you have said your ultimatum. Sometimes after a negotiation has gone on for a very long time, if outlined all of my points. I've explained my research. I've given areas for compromise, and I don't think the other party is listening. Sometimes an ultimatum can wake them up. I'm not joking. If I don't get this, I cannot keep working here. Okay, so it's a tricky strategy. Sometimes it can ruin the negotiation, and sometimes it can save it. Okay, next, offering a much lower price than you think the opponent will ask for. I'll read it again. Offering a much lower price than you think the opponent will ask for. I have number 1, lowball, and anything else? It's just a lot of ones in the chat. Okay, I saw 3. There's 1 3. All right, you guys, maybe this one was easy. That's lowball. All right, lowballing is really when you go very low in a demand in order to ensure that you will get the contract or the job. Okay, it's you don't want to compete on an even level. You just offer a really cheap either salary for yourself or price, and that is considered a lowball. Next, agreement by all. Agreement by all. There's 4 and 3 left. It looks like people are thinking it's 4. No 3s. Okay, a few 3s. Although maybe you're just doing it because I said that. It's 4. Consensus is we agree. So at the end of a negotiation, when we come to an agreement, we can say the phrase, we have consensus. We agree. We have consensus. Okay. The last one, maybe it's obvious. Definitely it's obvious. This is an agreement where each party changes or gives up some demands. Nobody gets everything they want. It's also, when we say meet in the middle, we mean compromise. Okay. The moment we have been waiting for. It is time to negotiate. So I want you guys to come and negotiate with me. If we have some brave souls because this is not your first language, you're learning English, and negotiation is a high skill. Okay, so you can negotiate one of these 3 things. You can negotiate a raise where you ask me for more money. You can try to sell me something and I'll tell you I don't want to pay the price you ask for. So we'll negotiate the price. Or you can use the example that I just used, which is changing work days. All right. I will try to respond to you as a tough but fair negotiator. And we'll give each person, I don't know, maybe a few minutes to do that negotiation. So this is really hard because it's all imaginary. So you don't have your real life research or experience of knowing me, so you can plan your strategy, but try your best and we'll see. We'll see how you guys do. Who is feeling like negotiating? Do I have any hands? As I said, any brave souls? If your hand was up before, put it down if you don't want to get called, because you might get called up to negotiate. Let's see. How about Bilal? Bilal, do you feel like negotiating?
Hey, Ariella.
Hi,
how are you
Bilal.
doing?
I'm doing good. I'm ready for a negotiation.
So I was going to negotiate about something else.
Oh, okay. What do you want to negotiate about?
I was going to negotiate about 2 other lessons, free lessons for the team.
Oh, okay. I like this. Let's go. I'm game.
So, okay, so we can do that?
We can do that. I like it. We call this a very courageous start. You say, I'm negotiating before I start the negotiation.
Yeah, so how can we start this? I don't know how to start, to be honest.
That's okay. The first step is your objective. So you mentioned it already a little bit, but why don't you restate it now that we've officially begun?
All right, so the objective is have at least 2 more lessons for the team. After we're done with this session, it's gonna be, so I'm gonna leave this for later. So this is what we want.
And why should I give that to you? Why should I give 2 free lessons? I take a lot of time. It's hard to prepare these lessons. I'm tired. It's been 3 months of teaching. Why should I give you 2 more free lessons?
I agree, but just the impact that those lessons have on a lot of people, and I've seen just this chat, I would say there's more than 200 people watching these lessons. It will be good for them.
Okay,
And
interesting.
you'll be making a good impact on the society.
Okay, that's a really interesting point. I hadn't considered that. Okay, and is there anything else you wanted to tell me to consider?
So I was thinking maybe we can put up something on Instagram, either on the US Embassy page or your Instagram. Do a vote and see if a lot of people agree to have these 2 lessons added.
All right, so and then that'll support your argument if more people really want free lessons.
Yes.
All right, well, Bilal, I think I liked that you appealed to my ego. You said, we really like these. And then you appealed to maybe my mission, right? Like,
Yeah.
they'll have a big impact. You're saying, I can tell you want to have impact. You have free classes. This will increase your impact. And then you showed me, like, as a follow-up, I could get even more people who want this. All right. All right, Bilal, I will take that into consideration. I will approach the US Embassy and we'll see what they say.
So I was going for 2 lessons, and that's the max. And I was hoping that you would say, okay, we can do 1. And you can pick the time. You can pick the time and you can pick the day.
Yeah, I think I would negotiate. I would give 2 lessons, but I want them to be on topics I like. I pick the topics, something
We can do that.
enjoy teaching. You guys don't get any say, no voting on the topic.
I think that we came into a consensus.
I think we've come to a consensus. Thank you, Bilal.
Thank you.
Amazing. Well, that was a really fun first negotiation. It was real. I was expecting to play a character and it was me, Ariella, being negotiated with. I saw a few other people saying, like, joining in, and I liked that as well. Someone was saying, you'll be more popular, you'll finish the program faster. Like, it's very smart, you guys, to appeal to the ego, right? Make me feel good about myself, make me see the positive impact, my selfish, what I would gain from it. That was step number 5, which is consider the benefit to the other party. And Bilal, you were absolutely right that I didn't negotiate back with you. I was a little bit taken aback and I thought, well, okay, maybe. You said, no, Ariella, negotiate me down. Let's find the compromise. Let's get the consensus. That was actually really fun. Selma saying it would promote your institute. Okay, you guys, okay. Let's see if anyone else wants to jump in and maybe negotiate with an imaginary Ariella or imagine the real one. I think you're going to see how I am as a real negotiator in the second case. All right, who's up next? This is fun. I'm glad we did this. How about Aya? Aya, are you ready to negotiate with me? I'll try to be tougher this time.
Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Fine. So I want to pick change work days.
Okay.
So can you please change my work days because I have some responsibilities?
Unfortunately, I really need you to work the days we gave you.
Okay. Just can you change hours?
What do you have in mind? What hours do you want to work?
Maybe in the morning.
So you prefer morning hours. I think I could make that work. Can you explain again, why do you want to change your hours?
Because I think in the morning, I will give better.
Oh, like you think you'll perform better at work?
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's interesting. I definitely want you to perform better at work. Okay, I'm okay with this. We keep your work days the same, but we shift you to the morning hours. Let's give it a shot and we'll see how it goes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Aya.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, very good, Aya. I'm going to go back. Excuse the long PowerPoint. Oh no, so many slides. I want to go back to the slide that shows you guys the steps before we talk about Aya's negotiation, which Aya, you did a great job. So have a clear objective. Yes, you had a clear objective. You came in, you said you wanted to change the work days. I'm not sure you understood your leverage until the end, when you said, I'm clear or I will perform better on those certain days. Although I think understand your leverage. I would have preferred that you brag about yourself. You should, or you could have mentioned, I'm one of your best employees, you know, because we're imagining a scenario. Why not imagine you're one of the best employees? I produce really good quality work. I've been working here the longest, so I'm a valuable member of the team. Those are the leverages that you need to bring up. Remind me why I want to give you anything. That's why the first thing I said in response when you said, I want to change my days, I said, okay, no, right? I don't understand. Why would I give you anything? We're in a position where your days are where I want them. So you need to explain to me why it's worth it to negotiate. And then where you did a very good job was that you had an area ready for compromise. So when I came back to you and said, no, I'm not interested in negotiating that, you came to me and you said, what about hours? The advantage to this is really good. It's two things. It shows that you've done your research. It also, it's human psychology. If I have said no to you once, I like the idea that I could say yes to something else because it will make me feel good. Oh, look how nice a boss I am. I said no, but then I came down to work hours. So you're a little bit manipulating my mind by giving me a second thing to say yes to. Great job, Aya. I see you guys all writing in the chat. You want to participate. I'm sorry, it's not going to influence me. You should see how I choose. I scroll up and down. I pick someone randomly. So let's keep the chat for talking about the negotiations, and hopefully many of you will have a chance. All right, I see Wafia. Wafia, are you ready?
Hi,
Hello, welcome.
how are you?
Doing good, thank you. How are you?
I'm taking sell me something.
Oh, okay. Let's
Yeah,
go.
you sell me something.
Oh,
Let's
I'm
start.
selling. Oh,
Yeah.
I see. So you're going to negotiate me down. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
What should I be selling? Everyone in the chat, what's a good thing to sell? Watches, cars, perfumes, a car. Okay, let's go with a car.
Oh,
Wafia, I am selling you my Volkswagen Golf. Listen, you
it's
guys,
great.
I have to tell you something. I prefer we talk in American dollars because Algerian dinar centime, I will get lost.
Okay, okay.
Is
I
it
will.
okay if we do dollars?
Yeah, it's okay.
Thank you. Okay, Wafia, I'm selling you a Volkswagen Golf for $8,000.
$8,000? I
Yes.
think it's expensive.
No, I don't think so. For a Volkswagen Golf, it's in good condition. It's a little old, that's true, but it's been very well maintained.
Yes, but it's you told me it's old. I can't.
You're right. I did say it's old. It's 2000 and 2010. So it's 12 years old, but it's really well maintained.
12 years old. I think it's running. It's running good. You should be low the price, please.
Okay. All right. Wafia, I see what you mean. It's a little bit old. How about $7,000? $7,000.
7,000 with 12 years old is still more expensive. I find near me in the auction a good deal, and more than this, I choose your car because you're the one owner and you are woman and clean.
Okay,
Because
so do you agree to buy it at 7,000?
no, less more because I have more things to do. I choose friendly to my budget. I need to do insurance, buy insurance, and I live in expensive area. You know, the food is expensive.
Okay.
You should help me.
Why should I help you? I don't know you.
Okay, give me affordable prices.
Okay, Wafia, let's say I give it to you for 6,500.
I precise you the prices. 6,000 prices is the final prices. I took it.
Are you giving me an ultimatum?
Yeah.
Well, Wafia, I think with the ultimatum,
I think it's not low ball. It's good. low ball.
It's not a low ball. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we will imagine, Wafia, we will imagine that it's a good offer and I will accept it. Fine.
Okay, I'll agree now.
We have consensus. Here's the
Yeah.
party.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you, Wafia. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, so Wafia wanted me to sell. I loved that. She comes on, she goes, you sell to me. All right, which tells me that Wafia, you are accustomed to negotiating. I would not want to be against Wafia in the supermarket. I think it was good. She had a clear objective. She knew she wanted to buy a car. I think understand your leverage. Wafia, you started to mention an auction house. That was really interesting. It's about leverage and about research, because when you're strangers, you don't really have as much leverage, right? If you're the same to me as the next person I could sell to. But when you're mentioning the auction house, like there's other cars and they're much cheaper, your car is overpriced. Overpriced is a great word for these negotiations. I think at one point you said you wanted to buy from me because I'm a woman and I'm clean, which I loved. But by the way, you're giving me leverage. When you say that, I'm ready to raise my price because you just told me something that you will pay more money for, something you like about me. Instead, you could have understood your leverage against me. So you saying, listen, other buyers, maybe other buyers, they're not serious, or they say they have the money, they don't have it. You could have said, I have cash, I can pay you right now, this moment. That is leverage. That is something that you can offer me that another buyer could not offer. I don't think you identified areas for compromise, but again, a negotiation over a car, it's not exactly the same as working days. We won't see each other once the purchase is done. And then, make a strategy. I think the baby in the background absolutely helped with people in the chat having their hearts melting. In some ways, it was a little distracting, which can be good, right? You don't focus like we're fighting. You have kind of stuff going on. So people, sometimes you throw them off their game. Maybe that threw me off my game. So I was ready to close the deal. All right. Good job, Wafia. Let's see, someone else I have here. Ahmed. You guys, I'm tired, all this negotiation. Let's do some more. Ahmed, are you ready to negotiate with me? You have to unmute yourself. Maybe Ahmed doesn't have service. Okay, let's do one more. How about, oops. Oh my gosh, there's so many of you raising your hands now. Let's try Rehab. Rehab, are you there?
Well, hello.
Hello, welcome.
How are you doing, dear?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm very good. Glad you're doing good.
Are you ready to negotiate?
Yeah, and I'm here to negotiate with you my working schedule.
Okay, very good. I'm ready.
Yeah, I think that you should give me some days off because, well, I have some responsibilities to take care of, and I think that a break from times to times can make me maybe in the future focus more and be more concentrated on my work. And yeah, I'll accept to, after that you gave me those days off, maybe I'll accept to work some extra hours to pay back.
Okay, I have to tell you, Rehab, I have nobody else to work those days. I can't give you those days off unless someone can work them. Otherwise, there will be no one here.
I don't. Maybe I can work the work that is planned to be done those days, maybe before, so I can go. So I can get those days off. Maybe I can work like in advance.
Okay, interesting. So you'll do the same work, but on different days. But we need someone like in the office in person on those days. That's what I don't know. Do you have any ideas?
Maybe, well, maybe I can make a deal with a mate, maybe to
Okay.
replace me, and I could replace them on maybe another date.
Interesting. So you could maybe exchange schedules with somebody?
Yeah.
Okay. Listen, my priority is that someone is here in the office on those days and that your work gets done. If you can help me find someone to cover for you and they agree to work those days, then I'm happy to give you those days off.
I like the sound of it, so I will do my best to find someone to replace me while I'm gone, and I will replace them if they want days off. And well, yeah.
Amazing. I'm shaking your
Thank you.
hand through the screen. Thank you, Rehab.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. So Rehab came in. I have one comment on the beginning, Rehab, that a couple other people have done the same thing. I want everyone to hear it, is starting the conversation by saying, I need, or I want, or you should. These are phrases that instantly put the other person leaning back, like, and why should I? Okay, it's a strong ask in the beginning. So finding a way to start that's a little bit softer, perhaps you even prepare them by saying, hey, Ariella, I have a favor to ask. I have a request. I'd like to propose something. That's a softer way to start the conversation that doesn't feel like you're instantly asking me for something. And I think you'll have a much better result at the end. Then once we got going, I thought it was great. When I expressed to you my concerns, you came up with a solution. So first I said, we have work on those days. And you said, I could do that work other days. Okay. But then I said, really, we need a physical person in the office those days. And you said, I'll get someone to cover. This is a very classic negotiation that you guys might have if you're asking, for example, for remote work or changing your hours. Is some of it is logistical. And if you bring the solution, you don't ask the other person to bring the solution, you have a very high chance of getting approved. I personally, as a boss, I love this when people come to me and they say, I have a request, I see your potential concerns, and I already have solutions in my mind. It instantly makes the conversation easier and smoother, rather than saying, I have a request, you'll have to figure out what happens afterwards. I haven't thought about it. So that part was really good, Rehab. I see Bilal saying, let's do one where we can't come to consensus. Well, Bilal, that's, I can always choose to not come to consensus, but I don't want to torture the poor soul who comes on and has to keep going and keep going and keep going while I go, nope, nope, nope. But maybe if we do 2 more free lessons, they can just be negotiations where I refuse to concede. Okay, you guys, we're just pushing on 8 o'clock. I'm so sorry that we can't do more, but this was extremely fun. I'm really glad you came up here. This is my favorite part of these classes, is when we can actually speak to each other. I get to hear your opinions, your voices. I get to see how the lesson is making an impact on you. I think we have I'm just going to quickly go through the slides if you want to see the idiom that we have prepared at the end while we close out the session. But truly for me, this was one of my favorite classes. I'm so happy you all were able to make it. Okay, here's an idiom just at the very end, seeing eye to eye, meaning agreeing or having the same opinion. Everybody, thank you for coming. Thank you for participating. For those who are asking, this will be posted on YouTube. You'll also get an email tomorrow with the YouTube link. And Sam can go ahead and put the link again in the chat. Abdulhamid, the episode has been recorded. I feel like a TV star. The class has been recorded. All right, everybody, for those of you going to watch the football game, enjoy. And for the rest of you, have a great evening. Talk to you all next week. Bye-bye.